I can count too. You know I only fired 7 shots. I only got 1 bullet left. Unless I reloaded. How many bullets do I have left? Come on.
Hey gang, Uncle Todd and Sonny here, and this week we are looking at an extremely tense suspense film called The Sadist. Came in the wake of Hitchcock and Psycho. So after that, everybody had to have these crazy killers in their thrillers. Now, it stars Todd Jr. and Marilyn Manning, who we went over in EGA. And this was made by his father, Archall Sr.'s film company. But the main stars are Richard Alden, who was a Canadian actor. He did some appearances in films, usually uncredited or as, security guard number 4. But most of his work was done on TV, where he appeared on Gunsmoke, Custer, The Virginian, Hogan's Heroes, the Canadian show Star Lost, the variety show Wayne and Schuster, as well as in the 80s Voyagers, and a couple appearances on Friday the 13th, the series. His leading lady is Helen Hovey, or is that Havo? Voy? Either or. This is her only credit. Most interesting is the third lead. Well, he's more of a supporting player, Don Russell. Now, this is only his second of 2 film credits as an actor. His other was playing Ortega in Incredibly Strange Creatures That Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies. But he did a lot of work on Ray Dennis Steckler films. He did second unit work on not only the Incredible Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies, but also on Steckler's Thrill Killers and the Lemon Grove Kids Meet the Monsters. He was also production manager on The Sadist, as well as the Ray Dennis Steckler directed but Archall Sr. produced vehicle for Archall Jr., Wild Guitar, sort of an attempt to make him a new Elvis, and a spy spoof that Archall Sr. made called The Nasty Rabbit, which we may get to down the line for Easter one of these years. Anyways, The Sadist is basically inspired by the killing spree done by Charles Starkweather and Carol Fugate. This is probably the first film inspired by their little cross-country serial killing. And they would, of course, get a more biographically accurate version in the 70s with Badlands, starring Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek, as well as inspiring Quentin Tarantino's script for Natural Born Killers with Woody Harrelson and hold on. Juliet Lewis. I cannot believe I forgot that. Well, getting back to what we were talking about, I originally thought of doing this review in September because the three of the main characters are teachers. And okay, teachers, I usually do back to school in September, but they're going to a baseball game between the Reds and the Dodgers. Well, baseball puts you in late spring, most of summer. So I'm going to put it here. We open with narration by Arch Hall Sr. detailing what a sadist is. I guess back then a lot of people didn't know what that meant. Someone that takes pleasure in giving others pain. Anyway, we then get to the movie proper, wherein our three teachers, traveling to their ball game, on an off the beaten track road, start to have car trouble, so they pull into a gas station / garage. But things don't look or feel right.
Hello?
Place seems deserted. But that's not all. Ominous. Well, during this section, get a lot of dialogue to tell us about our three characters. You got Ed, who is the one we saw knocking on the door, Doris, and Carl. Carl's the older of the two. He's sort of a senior teacher. And we learn they're going to this ball game because a former student is now playing for the Reds and they want to go see him and cheer him on. And there might be a bit of a spark of romance between Ed and Doris, although she's rather shy and, you know. But we do get a bit of foreshadowing for later in the film.
Just a snakeskin they shed this time of year.
I can't stand snakes.
Most people can't. Part of the country's loaded with them.
Keep that in mind for down the road. Now, while Ed is stripping the air pump out of a car to put in his car, Carl goes looking around the house that's connected to the station and makes an even more eerie discovery. Even more ominous. Table set for 4. Only 2 places have been eaten out of. And it's still warm. Well, enough of this foreshadowing. Let's get to the villain introduction.
Except for a cat, there's not a sign of life.
The sooner we get out of here, the better off I'll feel.
I like that little bit of just a gun coming up there. But let's get a good look at our villains. Charlie and Judy.
Supposing I get it fixed, what happens then?
Me and my girl go away. Bobby.
How do we know you'll keep your word?
Looks like you're just gonna have to take it. Ain't you, mister?
Yeah, he wants them to fix the car so they can take it and continue with their journey. But he also proves right up front that you can't believe a word he says.
You have our money. Isn't that enough? What else do you want?
Send her home from school crying.
I think now we know why they titled this The Sadist. Well, not only does he rob them of their money, rip up their Dodger tickets, rip up family photos, but when Doris asks to get water for the wounded man, he allows it. But again, some ulterior motive there.
You think I'm dirt. You think Judy's dirt. You'll always think it till you don't think no more. Your gun means nothing. You hear? Nothing.
That is about as far as I'm going to go there, because he starts ripping her dress up and touching areas, you know. Anyways, before it gets too graphic, he sends her back. While that's been happening, Ed's realized who Charlie and Doris are. They've been all over the radio and TV about their killing spree. And he realizes they're not going to be left once the car's fixed. They're going to be done in. And then Charlie gets even more sadistic.
Seeing is how you like to talk. Go ahead and talk. Talk all you want. As soon as I finish this, you're gonna be through talking. School'll be out for you, teacher.
This is one of the high points of suspense in this film. As Carl is begging for his life, saying anything he can think of to appease Charlie, and Charlie's just drinking pop, looking at him, drinking more, until he finishes it.
School's out, teacher. No, no, please. Ed! The stage!
I'm shocked.
Okay. I didn't really think that was going to happen, but now we know what the stakes are. And they're pretty high. Ed's next, or I should say first plan, is maybe he doesn't have any bullets left. So he starts talking to Charlie and asking him, he knows about his past, and starts going down the list of all the people he's done away with. And, how many shots is this and how many shots is that, only for Charlie to show he's got several more clips. And then he fires another bullet. Is the gun empty or not?
What's the matter, you friends?
You had a chance, mister. You should have taken it.
Yeah. He had a chance, but it's a tough one, Well, things start to look up because they hear the approaching sound of two motorcycle cops. Highway patrol. Chips, if you were. Well, he forces Ed into the trunk of an old car, and then has Judy hold Doris, and then tries to bluff the two motorcycle cops.
I recall having seen you around here before, son.
A friend of the family.
Just talked to Milt's son in town about an hour ago. Funny, being the talker he is, didn't mention anything about visitors.
He just left before I got in.
Might just be able to pull that off. Of course, we then get another really tense scene as we keep cross-cutting to Doris and Judy, and they start to struggle. And then Judy manages to let off a scream. Man, he's racking up the count here. Well, that plan failed, so they come up with another one. As they've gotten the fuel pump out of the old car and are now putting it in their car, Ed comes up with a plan. He'll have Doris get in the front seat of the car to test to make sure the car works. He'll rev the engine from the motor. He's pretty confident. Charlie doesn't know cars that well. And then when she'll put it in drive, but have her foot on the brake. And then when he passes in front of it, she'll gun it. Doesn't work. Charlie gets in the car himself, so Ed does some more finagling that makes it look like it's stalling out, so Charlie then gets out of the car. He does some more jigger-jogging, and then they let Doris get in the car, but Charlie doesn't go in front of it. You see, he's not that stupid.
Think I don't know nothing about cars, don't you? That thing right there, that's a carburetor. The car can't run unless there's gas in it. All you gotta do is prime it.
Yeah, he's been underestimating Charlie all over this place. And then Charlie makes his big mistake. He has Ed get the gas from the pump to put in the carburetor.
You fell victim to one of the classic blunders.
Oh, man, that's gotta sting. Ugh. Well, he's half blinded, so he's just shooting all over the place. And this leads to, for him, a tragedy.
Oh, Jody! Holy heartbreak.
I know that they're insane killers, but still, that's bad. It does lead to some of the best emoting in Arch Hall Jr.'s acting career. Whew. Wow. Okay, that's some method acting there. Wow. In all this confusion, Doris manages to beat feet to the road and starts running, while Ed and Charlie commence to a very tense cat and mouse game amongst all the wrecked cars, which gives us an interesting scene. Clever. But you know, there are two side mirrors on a car. Got away. Well, we get some more chasing, and he's firing shots left and right to get this guy until we come to a dead end. Okay, that was unexpected. Oh, but don't forget, this guy's a sadist. Well, that's, jeez. Just emptied a whole gun into him. Oh, there's still Doris. And the car's now fixed. Yeah, he kind of got the car stuck, so it's now a prolonged foot race chase, I should say. And has a most unusual resolution. Oh, hey, remember that thing back around the beginning about snakes? Yeah, just like in True Grit. Probably got inspired by the book, not the movie. But this is rather ironic, considering something he had said to Ed earlier.
You got much more time. 2 minutes. How does it feel when you're about to die?
I think he knows now. Oh, his death scene gets a really hearty shot. Wow. And we end on another bit of irony.
The pitch. Fairly belts it. Oh, what a smash. Frank Robinson is on his bicycle. He's going back. He turns and races toward the wall. Back he goes. Oh, it's a home run.
Oof. And she heads back to the road to keep walking. She get picked up? She survive? We don't know. It's a tense suspense film. Well deserving of its cult status. It was one of many exploitation films made at this time that kind of pushed things a little too far for audiences, but not so far that the film would get banned. And I gotta say, this is the best performance of Archibald Jr. in any of the films he made with his father before he became a commercial pilot, and apparently had a happy life before retiring from that, and then getting talked into starting up a new band of archers and going on tour in his later years. Anyways, he is truly terrifying in this film. Turns out he based his performance on a very particular Oscar-nominated performance from an earlier film.
Give me that gun. You squint!
If you're gonna take from someone, Richard Widmark's a good one to pick. The camera work in this film is amazing. I can't believe this was done by Arch Hall Sr., of all people. I mean, we looked at EGA, and most of his films were of that caliber, but here we got some great shots. You know why? It was an early work of the great cinematographer Vilmos Zsigmond, who spent most of the 60s into the very early 70s either working for Arch Hall Sr., and then when he finished that, he then worked on films by Al Adamson. If you're not familiar with him, he made films like Psycho A Go-Go, which was then made into Blood of Ghastly Horror, Horror of the Blood Monsters, Satan's Sadists, and they all look good because Zsigmond worked on them. Of course, then in the 70s, he graduated to films like McCabe and Mrs. Miller, The Long Goodbye, Deliverance, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, The Deer Hunter, Sliver, Ghost in the Darkness, Fat Man and Little Boy, Maverick, and Jersey Girl. He was an in-demand cinematographer, and well-deserved, too. An interesting note about this film is that it was originally paired with Ray Dennis Steckler's Incredibly Strange Creatures that stopped living and became mixed up zombies. And now, depending on who you talk to, according to Steckler, he voluntarily pulled his film from the double showing because he felt that it was receiving preferential treatment on the double bill. Arch Hall Jr. contends it was the worst pairing of two films ever. And I can agree with that. This would have worked much better paired with another low-budget suspense film like the Hands of Orlok remake, Hands of a Stranger, which was a low-budget film too. Those two could have worked well together. Or, although it didn't get released till later, Lon Chaney Jr.'s The Spider Baby, or The Maddest Story Ever Told. Oh, those two would have been great together, but was not to be. And in its later years in the 70s, it would pop up on late night TV, where it developed most of its fan base to this day. Yet this is such a great film. The other acting's okay. Stalwart hero. Marilyn Manning gives one of her best performances too, as the rather, I would say, infantile Judy, who is also a bit of a sadist. And although the original Carol Fugate was 14 when she took off with Charles Starkweather, who was older. Here they make a note of having it announced over the police motorcycle radio on an update that she is 18, kind of get back from the rather ickiness of a adult with a teenager. So he's roughly in his 20s and she's 18, so it's a little better. But that aside, really good suspense film. Gets a little talky in places, as films like this do, because, they're trying to make it feature length. But there's enough suspense and action going through, keeps you going through the whole thing. And wow. That twist ending, really good. Well, there's not much else to say about this one. Highly recommended if you like 60s cult exploitation action films. Another great pairing would have been um, the um, Pussycat Kill Kill, or Kill Kill Pussycat Kill Pussycat Kill. You know, Terra Satana. Yeah, that would have been a great pairing too. But you know, anyways, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay after the credits for my favorite scene.